Hello.
Hey, we're back.
We're back.
We are back after lots of questions.
So many questions.
Where we've been.
We've been here. We've been in our J-Town apartment, loving it for the most part. Like, I really love this area.
Love it. Sorry we've been gone so long.
I've had so many questions about my Instagram, which is, I think it's just Cindy.Tarot. Do you know my Instagram? Okay, we'll put something here.
I think everyone on YouTube goes like this.
We don't even know how to do that
We're not
yet.
really quite sure how to do it. We're so new to it, but it's down there.
We'll
figure it out.
something.
Okay. Yeah.
And I just started putting in my story kind of like what we're doing and kind of like my day-to-day for this last week. I have been getting phone calls, text messages, Instagram messages, Facebook messages.
Yeah.
So, people just want to know what's going on. Some people were concerned. They're like, why did you sell everything? And other people were asking if we were just feeling nostalgic because I posted some pictures and such. And I realized that no one understood the context of everything unless you're in our everyday lives. So all my students know what's going on. So that's a cool thing. I think everyone at your work knows what's going on.
Yep.
For the most part, if you see us on the daily, you know. But for the rest of the people that we know and love, we figured this would be a great place to let you know. Okay, so
it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. So we are moving into a fifth wheel.
A camper.
Yes, a camper. And
not because we have to.
We don't have to.
Because we want to.
We really want to.
Yeah.
And we're going to tell you why.
We'll make that clear because we've told some people and they ask us, what's wrong? How can we help you? No, we want to do this.
This is a
It's an
choice
adventure.
that we have decided to make together.
Yeah.
And it's a really cool story, so we wanted to
She
share
started
it with
it
you.
and I just came along, but let's be honest.
Okay.
But I'm in now.
He's in. Boop. He's in. He painted today, so you know that was good.
I did.
Okay, so here we go. We are in this beautiful J-Town apartment that we have loved for the last 12 months. And our lease was coming up, so it was kind of like the decision, do we want to move into a one-bedroom and stay here? Do we want to try like another adventure? Because I love moving. I think I have an addiction to just like doing life in different places. I think it's exciting. And why not? Like, we're renters, so we can't afford to just go from here to there. And we just kind of like put it on hold. Christmas was coming up and we were talking about just moving into a one-bedroom here at Hanover Cannery Park, which shout out to them, we love them. And then Christmas time, I went to Haiti and I left.
On a short-term missions trip.
Yeah.
With students.
With students. So I think there were 20 or so of us, maybe 22. And I was a part of like bringing these group of teenagers, walking them through Haiti. And Haiti's a beautiful country. We were a part of working with an orphanage that was reaching out to other orphanages in the area. So we were able to go in and give rice and beans and play with some of the kids. But it changes you when you minister that way. And I think that's the way it's supposed to be. You have to come back changed when you see that. So came back. It was really hard to talk for a while. And so he and I were sitting on the couch and kind of like processing just the things that we want to do now that our children are grown. Like, who are Steve and Cindy without having to be full-time parents all of the time?
Right.
Yeah. Do you want to add something to that part?
No, but I think that when you came back, I think what we realized, both of us, were that we have seen through our many different missions trips with students, people that live and survive and with much less than we have. And so that was part of the journey. I think for us, life is like a big puzzle, and there's lots of pieces that go into the decisions that we make. And one of the biggest pieces were us realizing that we wanted to be able to help people. We wanted to be able to be flexible with our schedules, to travel with students to different parts of the country and not be held down because of stuff and because of even a mortgage. I don't want to have to be held down to a certain place or geography. And so I think that is why that kind of birthed this kind of spirit of migrancy in us to move around. So we are a bit kind of, we're in the gypsy life, as it were, but in a positive way. And so that kind of turned into some different ideas as we were feeling this way. We were watching things on television, or YouTube, like Tiny House Nation, or different iterations of TV shows that, you know, show people living in alternative houses and
then-
small living spaces. We actually considered living in a school bus, and that's where I kind of said stop, because we were looking at, there's a whole movement called schoolies. These are people who live in school
They're
buses.
so cool. You should Google it and take some look at some
Schoolies,
pictures.
yeah, I'm not sure the spelling, but
Schoolies, Skoolies, I believe.
we thought, because we both work in education, how appropriate living in a school bus. And then there was like looking at city buses and all kinds of different types of vehicles. But we learned that there's limitations on that for the age of the vehicle and the type of vehicle and
Well,
where you can
even
park
in-
it. And
Even in California, because we researched it, in California, you really cannot park a school bus anywhere. You can't take it to a campground, they don't know what to do with them. You can't take it to an RV resort because they don't know what to do with them. So then
they don't want them.
they don't want them, yeah, especially around here. And obviously, we do not want to have to park on the street. And so the school kind of like
Yeah.
went out the door.
And most resorts and campsites want you to have a camper that is less than 10 years old,
Yeah.
for the most part. That's the majority of them.
And here, we're talking about a very specific area here in California, Bay Area.
Yeah.
That's just our, that's just the way it is here. And we don't feel called to leave our jobs. I love what I do. Like, I love what I do so much. And so we needed to create a tiny home for us that we could actually live in this area without changing our jobs. And so that's where the fifth wheel came in. Pretty much redid the insides and made it feel like a tiny home. So the outside looks like the standard, so you can actually stay in places long term. And on the inside, it looks like a home. So that's actually what we're doing. We are taking a fifth wheel and we are creating a tiny house out of it. So it's 5 years old. I love it. It's a Columbus.
Columbus, like RS 320, I think is the model number.
Yeah.
It's about 37, 38 feet long, and
It's around 400 square feet, so a little bit less
Small.
than half. It's small.
got
Yes.
3 slide outs. We'll show you in the next episode, I'm sure. We bought the camper and we didn't even have anything to tow it with, so that's how
I always believed in
kind
you, babe.
of crazy we were in this whole thing. We did get a good deal on the camper, and then we started researching, and then we found, wow, you need a certain kind of truck. But seriously, we just wanted something to get us to the 6 month, maybe a year project time. And if it falls apart after that,
That's
fine
okay.
with me.
So here is kind of like what our thoughts are. This is a 6-month experiment. So yes, we got rid of all of our furniture. We kept things that we love, and then we got rid of the things that weren't useful and didn't serve a purpose. And
Yeah, we have a very small, we're getting a very small rental storage unit just to store our, family heirloom stuff,
Yep.
which is important.
And
you know.
artwork, because I have student artwork too.
Yeah, we're
that
not
I-
going to throw everything away.
No.
We're going to keep it and
Yeah.
hang on to it.
Especially if we have a tiny house built,
Yeah.
which is kind of like our thought for the future, is if we love this, then in 2 years, we will have a tiny house built. They have a lot more walls on them than they do in a fifth wheel. If I show you one,
What are you
I'm
going
going to show you guys the big blue dog.
Should we go to a commercial break?
Here it is. Woo!
That's
Okay.
that's the blue dog.
Can you hold it?
Sure.
I want to make sure that they can see all of it. Oh yeah, they can. All right. So, big blue dog, although he will not be moving in to the tiny house, he will be safe.
We're gonna make this exciting. You guys are gonna want to follow, and you're gonna tell your friends. You are going to subscribe if you're watching for the first
Subscribe
time.
somewhere.
It's there. Subscribe.
Somewhere
Be a part of
around.
the Steve and Cindy
Life with Steve and Cindy.
Life with Steve and Cindy family
Yeah.
and story, because it's going to be exciting.
Updates. I'm sure next week it's going to be all about the grandbabies.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right. See you
All
later.
right, later.
Woo! Forgot to tell you guys. So I believe that you guys want to know about what inspires me. And I just have to do a shout out to RV Fixer Upper. the lady that I'm following on Instagram, her name is Trina, and I will show you some pictures of what we're kind of like inspiring to do inside of our rig. So here it is.